Sound check.
Check of a deck with some Affleck?
From Infinity.
Fleck.
Affleck.
Fleck.
Affleck.
Fleck.
Affleck.
Affleck.
Whatever.
The duck. From Infinity to Check. Checkerson.
From check to beyond.
What?
Right?
From Check to Beyond?
Yeah, because I can't say from infinity. You said infinity to check. I can't say from check to infinity because that doesn't work with the phrase. It's from infinity to beyond. So from check to beyond.
From Check to Beyond? From Infinity to Check. From Check to Beyond. I don't know. From Infinity to Check sounds cool, though.
From infinity
No,
to
that doesn't make
beyond, or
sense,
from
though.
beyond to
No, it
infinity.
doesn't.
From Infinity to Beyond.
From beyond.
Check to...
From check to
Infinity.
beyond.
How does from Infinity to Beyond make sense?
Because then it would make you the Beyonder.
Because you don't start from Infinity. Oh, wait, technically...
You're going to
To
infinity.
infinity.
From Beyond to Infinity.
No, what are you doing? You are going to infinity and then saying, I want to go beyond
Oh,
that.
I thought it said from Infinity to Beyond.
Man doesn't pay attention to
To
words.
Infinity and Beyond. There
Mhm.
you go. Oh, that makes sense.
But is there a beyond past infinity?
Yeah, where the Beyonder is.
We're Kanye.
Don't tell me you're a
Kang,
Marvel
frick,
fan
I
and
was
you
about to
don't
say-
know who the Beyonder is.
I was about to say
No,
Kanye.
Kanye. Yee.
Kang
Oh
Ye?
my god, yeah. No, it's Ye actually. So I was right. It is Ye.
Kang Ye.
Kanye. Ugh.
Kang Ye.
Bro, Kanye is. Oh my gosh, I don't even know at this point.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cross Gen Podcast. I'd like to thank you for joining us. My name is Walt, and I'm joined by the other two hosts of this amazing podcast. Guys, introduce yourselves.
AJ.
The Eli Lightyear.
Boy,
Eli Lightyear. No.
there's-
Eli Castillo.
There's a
I'm
lot of
sticking with
energy
that.
in this
Still-
room.
Still with
Eli Castillo.
Castillo, huh? And you haven't
Yes.
even played the game.
I'm his father. I raised him to be evil.
What are you, Benjamin Button?
Huh? Oh, who's Benjamin?
Do you know how
Do you know what-
old
I'm also
Anton
related to
is-
also related to Genghis Khan.
he's like 3 times your age?
Not unless he's Benjamin Button.
I traveled in time.
You do know the
That's
premise
what
behind
makes me-
Benjamin
I
Button,
know.
right?
Who's Benjamin Button?
You age backwards.
Oh. No, but like
So you're born an old guy and you're aging to an infant.
yeah. I'm Genghis
That's
Khan's.
the only way that statement he made makes sense.
I'm Genghis
right?
Khan's best friend who
What?
betrayed him and became king.
I
Of
am
the
your
world.
father's daughter's college roommate. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
Oh my
Spaceballs. Well, it's paraphrasing
That's
because
awesome.
that's not the exact phrase
gosh.
that
Yeah.
space helmet,
Darth helmet. Or dark
dark helmet,
So it's something helmet.
dark helmet. Then
Dark
yeah,
helmet.
it's dark helmet
Dark helmet.
Something like that.
and the Schwartz,
What
which is the
hell?
Force.
Oh,
In that universe.
The Schwartz.
they should have a crossover.
They really should.
Star Wars and
They
Spaceballs.
really shouldn't.
That would be amazing.
They really shouldn't.
A clash between Darth Vader and then Dark
That would
helmet.
be
That's besides the
embarrassing.
point.
You
That's
have
besides the point.
the Morg, right?
Morg.
Which is the guy. He's part man, part dog. The guy
What the
that play-
heck?
He plays
Morg?
like the Chewbacca character.
And Han Solo he's probably like Bond Solo.
I forget what his name is, but he flies in a Winnebago.
Han Duel.
He flies in a
Duo.
Winnebago,
Winnebago.
an RV, one of those huge vans that you, sleep in.
Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
Walter White,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Actually, isn't it like the same vehicle?
I guess.
It looked like it's the same one, except with wings, right? So, anyway, today we're going to be talking about kind of a serious subject. I don't know if it's serious or not because you know what?
It all.
The world is so crazy that, it's hard to
Yeah.
kind of quantify this. We're going to be talking about it's going to start with a conversation regarding the Buzz Lightyear trailer. There is a film coming out in 2022 made by Disney about Buzz Lightyear, but not in the way that you would expect.
Right? It's so different.
But the internet and certain groups have kind of taken this film, which only has a trailer at this point.
Mhm.
And interestingly, well, we'll get into that, but they've kind of taken this and run wild with some wild political theories on this and stuff. And I think we need to talk about it just because it's kind of strange how these things kind of happen in the void and just kind of flame on and flame out after a while.
Mhm.
But we'll talk about that. But before we do, you mentioned it in our sound check, and I wanna get back to it. What is up with Yay?
Wait, you want to do that?
I just wanna I wanna understand it because I think you guys have a little bit more understanding of what's going on with him because he's kind of like your avatar in GTA 5,
Yeah.
although he's not Kanye West in your version of GTA 5. He's Kanye South and Kanye East, right?
Yeah.
Those are the two characters that you've made in GTA 5.
So you want to talk about Kanye South and East?
I want to talk about Ye,
As in,
Kanye West. And what's up with that mask?
oh shoot, that.
I think we have to talk a little bit about that because that is strange, right?
Yeah.
So he changed his name.
Yes, Kanye. Well, sort of a nickname. It's given to him. Well, no, I don't know if he gave it to himself. He's had I think he's been like Yeezus, as in Jesus, but
Mhm.
since he has his Yeezy brand, it's the Yeezy plus the Jesus. It's Yeezus. Okay, and obviously he has Ye now, which is the new. I guess you could say Kanye.
So he's dropped his last name altogether, right? He's kind of like the Prince, like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince.
Hold on a second.
Wait,
You're
no.
saying he dropped his last name too?
No,
Well,
I don't think.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think that's just his nickname. Wait.
No, he's
Ye.
known as Ye now. I mean, that's
Like,
my
he
understanding.
Officially, like through the courts, changed his name to Ye.
The same way.
Oh, it's official.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird. Like there's a basketball player that used to play for St. John's, and I believe he played for the Lakers and stuff like that. Jesus, if I can't remember his name, but he changed his name officially to Meta World Peace.
Whoa,
Right?
whoa.
And then you have Prince, who actually, first of all, Prince is not his actual name, so he changed his name to the stage name, and then afterwards changed his name to a symbol. And so the symbol is unspeakable, obviously. So that's why people then started to call him the artist formerly known as Prince, because he can't speak a symbol. And it was like some sort of almost like a musical note like looking thing or whatever.
So it's not even a symbol that has a name. It's just something he drew. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's the way I remember it. So it's kind of is Kanye kind of trying to do the same thing here? I mean,
there's a very I'm gonna say this now. It's very something that you have to dive deep into because he's a very, very, very controversial figure. Not just in rap, just as a person, just as an I guess what you wanna an idol, right? Just as an idol or somebody like that. Yeah, he's very controversial. Like for instance, Yay is actually biblical. It's a reference to I believe the word you in the Bible. I don't know. It's something, but Um, he's a very I don't know how he portrays himself as. I saw this one thing a while back where basically people are saying I don't see that's just the thing. Kanye is very I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too
Okay.
much.
Well, just so to kind of enhance what we were talking about in terms of Prince, right? So Prince actually made the change, and it was kind of financially driven, right? Because um, Warner Brothers was his label, right?
Mhm.
And we all know how Warner Brothers is when it comes to DC films and stuff like that, and we know their things.
Yeah.
So Prince, I guess, wanted to move away from Warner Brothers, but the problem was Warner Brothers actually owns the name Prince
Yeah.
and all the music related to Prince. So he made the decision to change his name. Now, granted, you can go from Prince to, I don't know, Duke or something like that, right? But he chose to go to that symbol. So there was kind of a reason, if you want to talk about it, why Prince did it. Kanye, however,
Yeah. He doesn't well,
Kanye had no such thing.
I think there's some reason that drives that, like his intent and sort of how he wants to show himself. He's a very big showman or something like that. There was some reason there, that's for sure.
Well, I think you hit upon it before, because he actually mentioned it in a interview on the radio. Why the name Ye in this case, right? It actually has significance for him religiously. And
Yeah.
just to quote him, in that 2018 interview with the radio host Big Boy, he said, "I believe Ye is the most commonly used word in
Yeah,
the
it
Bible.
is.
And in the Bible, it means you.
Yeah.
So it's I'm you, I'm us, it's us."
So I was right.
Yeah, so you were right in that sense, but there was really no reason for it. He just cited personal reasons on the request to actually change it. He changed it back in August. Um, and so the way people found out was on his album release, the recent one, he tweeted, "The being formerly known as Kanye West, I am Ye."
See, that's why I sort of think there is a reason, and I'm not gonna try and dive too deep into this, and I'm gonna try and figure out what's going on in Kanye's mind. But basically, I his whole thing has been that he thinks of him as someone who's big, which if you really think about it, he really is big, but he thinks he's somehow bigger than all this. Like he's a very religious person, and basically what you get from that is he thinks he knows it all. He's like the genius of everything. He's like a mastermind. And I think that's sort of what drives this. He's very obviously religiously influenced and inspired. So I think maybe the rebirth sort of concept sort of drove him to do this. And also considering he's such a powerful person in his mind,
The rebirth
there you go.
of
You have it.
Kanye Omari West.
Yeah, but like I said, it's very very controversial.
Well, I'm gonna hit you with one last quote that he put out. He said it went from being Kanye, which means the only one, to just Ye, being a reflection of our good, our bad, our confused,
Yeah.
our everything.
So
What?
yeah, that basically sums up everything. Just that one thing.
Okay. I just want I
I'm
just
so lost.
He's a I mean he's also bipolar. You have to realize that. So
Is he?
yeah, he is. That's
Oh,
why I'm
okay.
saying he's I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Well, there's that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I just wanted to kind of bring that up because I know we've been talking about that kind of unofficially and stuff, and then watching an old Saturday Night Live
Yeah.
episode that kind of what was it on a Weekend Update with
Yeah, it was
Colin Jost and Michael
yeah, they
Michael Che,
they
who
accidentally
talk about Ye.
yeah, they
Michael
did
Che talk
somehow
about Ye.
put it on the board by accident because it was like I don't even know. But yeah.
Those guys are great, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
So
Go check them out.
yep. So okay. So let's talk about what we're talking about here, and we're going to try and tread lightly on this because I know it can be kind of controversial and whatnot. But just recently, a trailer for Lightyear dropped, and again, this is a film that's being put out by Disney. And when is it? It comes out in 2022. And so let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about that trailer. What did you guys think about the trailer?
I thought it was intriguing because it's really interesting because when we think of Buzz Lightyear, we often think of the toy.
Yes.
But in this case, he is clearly not a toy. He is a living, breathing person who is going and doing person things. For instance, being an actual astronaut.
Yeah. I mean, what are you thinking?
I think it's a cool, a pretty different take on the Buzz Lightyear that we know and love. Um, personally, I'd like to say that this is a good change, but I also have some thoughts on where this might take the Toy Story franchise.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, just before we get into the actual nuts and bolts of it, I thought it was intriguing also. It's like AJ said, it's clearly a very different take, because we're used to seeing plastic, not flesh and bones, right?
Buzz, 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 Lightyear to the rescue.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely it's an interesting idea to take it, and there's probably a lot of different ways that we can go about this. Nice little montage, not a lot, almost no dialogue, right? Literally almost no dialogue.
There wasn't any at all.
Yeah, it was just images and scenes and
really
stuff
cool
like
graphics.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and especially when he's like flying around the sun, that was a really cool scene.
He's like whipping around it, right?
Yeah,
almost
that's
like
actually,
a slingshot.
Yeah, that was actually really
Accepted sun and fire.
cool. Yeah, I don't. Well, it's their technology, right? Maybe.
Yeah. So there's really this really is a teaser in the most obvious sense of the word, right? Because they literally tell you nothing about the movie, and we're going to get into that a little bit later when we start discussing how this thing has become political for some reason, right?
Yeah.
But let's just focus on the trailer for now. So there's literally no story that you can get out of that. So we're left guessing what this thing is going to be. You have some ideas, Eli, on maybe not what the story is, although I think you do have some ideas of what the story might be,
maybe,
and where this thing is going. I think that's
more of the direction that they're taking it.
All right, so let's talk about that then.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's really nothing to say about the trailer other than it looks cool, but we don't know any story about it. So
for this, you can't really judge it by how it looks, just the context behind it, and I think that this definitely applies here. Due to like the Toy Story 4, I know you guys said before in the past that you haven't seen it.
No, I think
which is surprising.
I think we have.
Okay,
know?
But
Toy Story 4?
Maybe not
No,
AJ, but I think for some reason I kind of remember it. It had freaking Keanu Reeves in it. I remember we saw it.
Yeah, the Bush dude.
Yeah,
Bush head. Keanu Reeves was he was like a glowing bush. It was funny as hell. But anyway, shoot.
We had Google a Google alarm
ruin it for
literally
us.
in the background. So,
Interrupted us.
forgive us for that. Let's keep going.
Okay. Let me get my thoughts straight. Okay. Yes. Okay. What I was saying is
Freaking Google.
Yeah, I know, right?
Google.
The direction it might be, I think it's coming to an end. Mainly because
AJ's already fuming over here.
oh my gosh.
Wow,
no,
that
no,
didn't
no,
take
but
long.
Not fuming. That just.
I gave us some thought, and I really don't think Zerg might be coming. It doesn't. It's a yeah, whatever. But anyway,
You don't think Zerg might be a thing in this movie?
no, I don't think Zerg will be coming in in this movie or the next.
So do you agree that there might be a next then, huh?
Oh,
no. Okay,
so
no.
that means it's not gonna end.
Zerg.
Yeah.
Zerg.
Oh
You
my
think
God,
there's
let me get my track again. Freaking Google.
another movie after this?
No, there's no
because
other
I
movie.
have thoughts on this.
There's
But
no other movie after this. It wouldn't make sense given what they've been doing and what they've been setting up. The whole point of Toy Story 4 is that Woody was becoming an antique, not a toy. He's not a toy anymore. It's over for him practically. So in as a spin-off, it would only make sense to start ending Buzz's story. Because why are you going to continue why would you continue this a story that's practically been almost shut down?
Okay, let me
frothing
ask
at
you
the mouth
something
here.
then. If this is really about closing Buzz's chapter of the story, why are they moving on to a completely different version of Buzz and not Buzz the toy? If this is really about closing Toy Story.
But there's so many other examples where they move on to where they go from a different take and connect it to like it's I don't know if this sort of applies, but Joker is also an example. Like
What?
because right, sorta right.
No,
It's sort of similar,
what?
right?
Put your idea out there,
I'm
because
trying to
go
I'm trying to
ahead.
I'm trying
explain.
to see where
explain.
you're getting at.
Damn, you know what? Forget it. Joker was not a good analogy. No, what I'm saying is, with Buzz, I feel like a spinoff would be pretty much perfect for an ending. Why would don't continue it on Toy Story 5 because Woody was all about his whole idea was all about him being a toy and nothing else. Buzz always wanted to be something more than a toy. And by putting him in that role, the role that he's been longing for, I feel like, it's almost poetic to finish it there. To give him what he's been wanting for like the entire Toy Story franchise.
Except it's not it's only tangentially whatchamacallit connected to Toy Story. This has nothing to do with toys at this point.
But how do you know that? They didn't say that it was like a completely different universe or
The
anything.
dude's real.
But that doesn't.
And we've already, and I mean, not that we've already
that doesn't mean
discussed
you
this,
can't
but
connect it.
like,
That doesn't mean you can't connect it.
by what? This is a futuristic society compared to like
So
how many years in the
just
past?
because What If is a cartoon means you can't connect it to the MCU.
That's not a relevant connection.
Okay, fine. But there's still plenty of ways to connect it. Like, for instance, I don't know how you would explain it. Like maybe this is Buzz in his head.
I don't think that's what they're going for.
I don't
No,
think it's
that's not.
I kind of agree with AJ in this one, because this is actually this movie, at least on appearances, has nothing to do with the Toy Story franchise. It just happens to include a character from Toy Story, but it's almost like a beginning of another franchise. How can I explain it? It's like taking the Avengers, right? Let's put it this way. instead of the way the MCU did it, imagine
Oh.
if they did the Avengers first, right? And did a story about the Avengers and did all of they did Avengers, they did Avengers Age of Ultron, and then they did Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Those were the first 4 movies that they did in the MCU. And then they went back and said, okay, now we're going to do Captain America. Now we're going to do Iron Man.
But
It's
this is
kinda,
the way I picture it. It's
and
instead of that,
it's not exactly the best
there's not really
example,
yes.
but you're still the
way-
Avengers is own thing. Now you're telling stories about the characters
And
outside of that.
And
okay, but here's a perfect
expanding the
example.
universe.
Avengers and Black Widow.
Okay.
The whole point of creating another spinoff was to give a finishing to her story.
But that was specific to that. That was the reason that they did Black Widow is because people were screaming for a Black Widow movie because
Okay,
everybody
yeah.
else had it, right?
Yeah, Black Widow. That's it's criminal what they
still.
did
Yeah.
with that.
And I think it was more of and I don't know, I'm not going to say that this is the reason why they did it, but it almost felt like Black Widow's ending in Endgame was kind of underwhelming. And this was kind of like the love letter to Black Widow to say, you know what?
And I'd say
That's what this is.
And
But
I'd say the same
that's
thing
different.
I'd say the
because-
same thing applies here because in Toy Story 4 he didn't get an ending either.
I know, but you're talking about Toy Story. You're
I
talking
don't
about
know.
Buzz Lightyear, the
I'm willing to
toy.
bet money.
You're talking about
You're
Buzz
gonna
Lightyear,
lose
the
that bet. I'm
toy,
sorry.
versus Buzz
Don't get
Lightyear,
too
the
cocky, bro.
man. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same person, and it's not being voiced by the same person. And I think that's kind of the point of it,
Mhm.
to kind of differentiate between the toy and the man.
I'm still willing to bet money on it.
Okay.
It's
I
just
happen-
my opinion.
This is what I think is going to happen. There's 2
they're
things, and
They,
AJ,
their brother. What they're
What are they
probably gonna do? They're gonna start coming out with Woody the
Thank you.
Woody the whatchamacallit.
the cowboy.
But he's
Woody
no,
the
no, 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 no.
cowboy.
The real
Say what you
cowboy.
want. Say what you
Rexy
want.
the T-Rex
No,
or whatever.
frick no.
That
That
would
is
be
such
cool,
a
right?
dumb idea.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato
You
Head.
realize how stupid that is? No, bro. No, like for real. The whole point, like I've said, Toy Story was supposed to end their story. Why are you gonna revive them? They don't
Say-
just
You're not
because then you're
reviving
just
the
This is-
toys.
you're
You're
just
reviving
oh
the
my God.
persons.
And
These are
no,
persons.
you're just recreating the Toy Story franchise again.
No, you're not.
You're literally doing
No,
that.
You're not, because
You're
you know what?
really
Oh my
not.
God.
The Toy Stories. The toys can only do so much. It's all the imagination of the kids. If you put them in real life, they can do stuff. They
No,
Buzz
that is
Lightyear
such
can
a
go
dumb
to different
idea. I'm
galaxies.
sorry.
Buzz Lightyear can accidentally bump into Zurg and then find out that he has a nemesis. You know what I'm saying?
No, God, no.
Woody can Woody can find a snake in his boot. You know?
No.
I think it's either what AJ said, where they're going to make spin-offs of the actual characters and give them real life adventures, or they're going to take Lightyear and make it into like a trilogy franchise where it's like he's fighting the evilness of the Zurg Empire.
Okay, I'll give you
know what I'm
this.
saying?
I could definitely. Okay,
That's
No.
super interesting, right?
okay. Maybe it might not be one movie but either way, okay. So fine, you can give it a sequel, but either way, it's just gonna be a closing out for your story.
Well, every story has to close.
And that's what I'm saying. Why are you
But-
trying to revive something that should be dead by now?
So what else has Disney done? Star Wars. It's
But
kind of
why
their
are we-
thing.
Okay, fine, but why are we?
yeah, Star
And
Wars
they've
was
done-
kind of done.
Why are we encouraging
Right.
it?
Remake The
Oh
Lion
my
King.
gosh.
Remake Maleficent. I'm not gonna really rag
Yes,
on that
these
one.
are
I heard
remakes.
that one was
These are
okay.
literal remakes. Just
there are
from
a
a different.
whole bunch of other. They're
Okay,
remake central.
But why are you encouraging it though?
Money. They want money.
No, why are you encouraging it? Not Disney.
Well, the Buzz Lightyear thing is actually interesting.
Oh my God.
the
Jesus
Buzz Lightyear,
Christ.
but see, the thing is, the Buzz Lightyear thing is not a
Oh,
remake.
No. But it's okay. Fine.
It's a side
But what you're
story.
doing with oh my gosh, no. I'm sorry. That's no, just no.
I don't see what
There's
why
such a
this is
huge
so
problem
bad.
with this.
I
Such
don't
a
see
huge
it.
problem with this.
I really don't.
It's an ending. Toy Story is supposed to be
that story
one-line
ended. You're right, and
franchise.
that story ended. But
But
now,
you're branching it out in places it doesn't need to be branched out.
but they're not using the same characters.
But it's still technically the same universe.
No, it's
No, it's
not.
Oh my god.
It really
Never mind,
isn't.
Never mind. I'm done. I can't with this. I'm calling it. I'm willing to bet money. You guys, I'm willing to literally bet money. Like $5, 15, $30. If you got that kind of money on you, which I'm sure you do. I don't have that kind of money because I'm broke. However, $5 is probably the most I can do. So I'm willing to bet. The offer is here and now.
Why don't you play the game in Squid Game?
What? What game?
Red light.
No, the other
What
one.
the frick?
The-
What
the
does that have to
Loki
do with
or-
this?
Oh,
The very beginning,
the
where you have to smash the where you have to take
throw
these,
the
they're paper squares, right?
yeah.
And you put one on the floor, and you have to take the
it's-
other paper square and kind of smash it
and flip it over.
and flip it over.
No,
you
I
guys
was about to
should
say
do that.
red light, green light.
No,
Okay,
red light.
No, I-
what does that have to do?
I did that to
Like,
be funny.
Yeah, I know, but
Red
what
light,
the
green
hell?
light.
That
Red
doesn't
light,
make
green
any
light,
sense.
you die.
Yeah,
at least with this other game, you get slapped in the face.
Oh my gosh.
That's the worst thing that can happen. So. And then you sign away your kidneys and all your stuff. But
Your eyeballs, your kidney.
Yeah, that's not something else.
Yeah, but
Okay. So we just talked about the trailer, the Buzz Lightyear trailer, which dropped. The funny thing is that almost immediately after dropping this trailer, it became the number one trending topic. Now you would think, right, that people would probably be trending it because it's a Toy Story story, right? Toy Story is still very quite popular, right? A lot of people love
Yeah,
Toy
definitely.
Story, right? So you would think that that's the reason why it's trending. No, it's not. So then the next thought is, I don't know what other possibility would you think of a trailer trending? Maybe people are excited about it. Period. Notwithstanding the fact that it's Toy Story,
But he's not even a toy.
right?
yeah,
So
it's a very different.
but see,
Sort
and
of.
and here's where I kind of take a little bit of umbrage with what's going on with not just this particular thing, but things in general, right? So the reason why Buzz Lightyear, the Lightyear film, the Lightyear trailer is trending has nothing to do with the film itself. It has to deal with politics. Okay? So the backstory about this is that Lightyear, the main character, is being voiced by Chris Evans, Captain America in some circles, right? Everybody knows him as Captain America. That's probably his most in the spotlight role that he's had, right? That's the one that he's going to go down for and being famous for, right?
Flame on.
Well, yeah, but not as much. Captain America is going to be the one that people remember him for. But yes, he did play Human Torch in
Yes.
those forgettable
They were
Fantastic Four
Doctor
movies.
Doom was. Doctor Doom was sort of okay.
Yeah,
right?
he was too whiny for my taste.
Oh.
That's not the Doctor Doom that I know and love.
I don't remember
Doom,
that well.
Doctor Doom is supposed to be a ruler of nations, and he was a little too. He had the look, the guy that played him,
that's what I'm saying.
but his character was kind of whiny, and
Oh.
I wasn't feeling that all that much. We still haven't gotten a proper Doctor Doom, by the way.
We haven't gotten a proper Fantastic Four
That is true too.
movie
So.
or show.
But anyway, so Chris Evans is voicing Buzz Lightyear. Okay. Twitter, and I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it because there's no other way for me to say it. The far right lost their collective heads when they heard about this without researching anything. I'll have you know that, because that's how things work nowadays. You see something and you react to it immediately without doing any research, and that's what's happening here. Yes, you wanted to say something?
Quick thing, okay? I'm pretty sure our audience knows this, but I need to make this clear because I really want this to be as clear as possible. We do not mean to offend anybody.
Right.
This is all our opinions. If you don't like our opinions, well, it's just our opinions. We're giving you we have a platform and we want to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we're doing here. So don't get offended by what we say. And there you go.
Right. So so to kind of bump on that, I think a lot of the problems that we have nowadays is due to misinformation or lack of information, or certain entities that
Mhm.
want to take information and kind of weaponize it
Yeah.
to make it serve their agenda.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's happening here again with Lightyear, because um Lightyear, the movie, is not about Buzz Lightyear, the toy, which was voiced by Tim Allen. It's Buzz Lightyear, the actual person, if there was a person, right? He's not a toy in this film.
There's
He's an actual person.
it's a very different aspect than
Right.
Toy Story, because in Toy Story, I mean, he's obviously a toy, but like, and here we get like a realistic situation, probably of how things would go if he was actually, I guess, what
If
he
he was
said he
real.
was, if he was real. And I feel like not just the political controversies. I think that is going to be different in, like, the politics of governments and stuff like that. But yeah, that's besides the point, right?
Mm-hmm. And so, it's it's a little we've seen this play out before.
Mhm.
Let's put it that way. I mean, and so, of course, the people that are kind of really jumping on this thing. Tim Allen is a conservative. He's very
Yeah.
outspoken, which is kind of a rarity in Hollywood, because Hollywood tends to be very liberal and progressive.
Mm.
And Tim Allen is one of those, and I hate to use this word, but I'm just going to use it anyway, the outlier of Hollywood. He's the rare conservative voice that really speaks out, which, again, that's fine. Everybody has a chance to say what they have to say, regardless
Yeah.
of whether you like it or not. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree on a lot of things, right?
Mhm.
He was an outspoken proponent of Trump, right? Chris Evans is everything that Tim Allen is not. He's kind of like the exact opposite. He's a very critical opponent of Trump. He's very engaged with Twitter and stuff, and calling out, misinformation and lies, and he's very progressive. And that while Hollywood is very liberal, Chris Evans is just a little bit more than that in that sense, because he's very, very engaged. He's like a social justice warrior. That's kind of his thing, right?
Mhm.
So the narrative now is that Tim Allen is being, quote unquote, canceled
Yeah.
by Disney and, quote unquote, their wokeness, right?
Mhm.
When the decision was actually the director's, and the director actually had to come out and make a statement on it, because politics, according to him, really had nothing to do with it. To quote what he said, and the director, let me give you his name, so that where if you guys want to go and find out more about this, his name is Angus McLean. Okay,
Mm.
this is the quote that we he responded to due to this controversy. I wanted the film to have a gravitas to it and a seriousness to it, but also have an actor who could bring comedy with that seriousness. He was really the first and only choice. Now, you tell me, was there anything political in that statement?
No, not that I heard at least.
I mean, to me, that sounded like a director who wanted to take the role in a different direction with a person. And again, it's not really Buzz Lightyear, the toy that we're replacing
Yeah.
with this. And I think that's the distinction that people aren't making here.
Well,
And again, this goes back to the point that people make these statements without actually researching it. They're just seeing Buzz Lightyear being replaced by Chris Evans. And so naturally, the outrage is, how can you recast Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear? When the actuality of it is Chris Evans is going to be playing the real life version of Buzz Lightyear, which is a very, very different thing when you're saying you're recasting somebody. You're not recasting anybody because he's not playing the toy version of the character. He's playing the real life version of the character.
So there'd have to be, I feel like there would be a much more distinct, it'd have to be two different voices, and it really doesn't make sense just because he's being replaced that it always has to trace back to some form of politics. So
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, with generally they I mean, it was a big hit. Avengers Endgame was a big hit, so generally they recast a bunch of these, I guess, stars from blockbuster movies and put them into.
Well, a good example just within the Marvel universe, they've recast the role of Hulk 3 times, really.
Yeah.
2 times.
Really?
Because you had Eric Bana in the original Hulk.
But that wasn't part of this.
No, but what I'm saying is that you recast characters all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
well,
character
yes.
of Hulk has seen 3 different versions of it. You had Eric Bana, you had
Edward Norton,
and now you have what's his
Mark
name?
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. And again, to your point, within the same universe, they went from Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo, which they did with War Machine. Right? War Machine, from one movie to the next, they recast the entire character. It eventually became Don Cheadle taking the role. Spider-Man has been recast a gazillion times. We have 3 versions, to the point that, and
More than
a lot of people, more than that, but within the last couple of years, right? To the point that the upcoming movie, people are expecting to see all 3 Spider-Mans on the same screen, because now they're leaning into the multiverse. Batman, how many Batmen have we had since 1989?
We have
Quite
2.
a few.
We have 2 on the freaking same generation. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly. So I mean, the notion of recasting happens all the time, and it's not politically driven. But in the climate that we're living in today, outrage politics is kind of a thing. Outrage politics, and you look at some of the topics that are be throwing around. Outrage politics over Mr. Potato Head.
Whoa, what?
Outrage politics over Dr. Seuss.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, there are some, I guess, content in the Dr. Seuss books that kind of didn't sit well with people, or progressives, if I remember correctly. So they kind of said, yeah, I don't know about that.
Dr.
And
Seuss.
so that led to some of the Dr. Seuss books getting,
I believe
pulled?
2 or 3. 2 or 3 books, right?
Better not be Green Hands and Ham.
No, it's not.
Thank God.
2 or 3 books, but outrage politics.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of
4.
Roald Dahl. I'm sorry.
No, but it's the same thing.
If I
yeah.
ran the
It's
zoo,
the same thing with Dr. But there's another perfect example, right? So the right has taken the Dr.
There's
Seuss as
6.
kind of like 6 books.
Yeah.
Okay. But the right has taken this tact where, again, you're either talking misinformation or lack of information. If you listen to what they're saying, well, we're canceling Dr. Seuss, period. You can never read another Dr. Seuss book ever again. That's not the case. Okay? It's a couple of books. The man is a prolific writer. He's got tons of other books that you can read. You're not canceling Dr. Seuss. You're canceling you're respecting the cultures of others by seeing that there are some things in some of those books that can be problematic and disrespectful to another person from another culture. I don't, to me, that doesn't bother me, to say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. You know, it's all about respect and courtesy for your fellow man. But outrage politics dictates that you have to take that and kind of brush it with a wide stroke and say, well, you know what, if you're doing it for one, we're going to tell everybody you're doing it for all, right? So that's kind of the thing with Dr. Seuss, right?
And I don't think that, but even still, I don't think that has like, it's not even really related to this, because we've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Buzz Lightyear doesn't do anything political. There's nothing political about it. The reason behind it it has nothing to do with politics, just because it's a recasting. What do you
And
want?
even if you just look at it from a storytelling standpoint,
It only makes
look. You saw the technology in the Lightyear movie, right?
Yeah, I know.
It looked
it was-
pretty. Follow me. It looked pretty advanced, right?
Yes.
Super duper advanced.
Yeah.
So now, imagine the Toy Story movies. Did it look like they had any breakneck technology in those movies?
It's a freaking toy.
No. I'm talking about just the world in general.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing. It's basically set up in like the 2000s.
Yes, but
2000s.
yeah, but the whole point is
talking-
that
Yes,
the technology
the
you
error
see
is-
in Lightyear is not the same that you see in Toy
and what
Story.
I'm saying is the error wasn't technologically advanced.
I'm not talking about era period right now.
He's talking about the setting, right?
Yes, the
Yeah,
setting.
I know,
exactly.
and the setting
Yeah.
was like very.
The setting in Lightyear
when I
is
say the setting,
futuristic.
and
right?
when I'm saying that, just when I say the error was, when I say the movie was located in this era, I say that like it
It was, like you said.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying
Okay,
that the
but
era
to put
that
it
the Toy Story films is set roughly around the 90s.
Yeah,
Because that's when those toys came out. That's when those movies came out. That's they're it's kind of like the present for that time.
and it wasn't technologically advanced. But to put it simply, it wasn't advanced.
We were still struggling with
To put
cell
it simply,
phones.
it wasn't advanced. Whatever.
Yeah.
Forget it.
So you have that whole thing. Like, you can say all you want that, what's it, Buzz Lightyear in the video games and Toy Story 2? That was pretty futuristic, but this is clearly not that. You know what I mean?
It's set in the far future.
Exactly.
It would look
and it looks like it doesn't even have anything to do with the toys, period. So like it just comes down to, it's a different setting. They want to do a recast. It makes perfect sense because there's nothing actually tying this movie down to the Toy Story movies except for Buzz Lightyear as a character, I guess.
It's a different character,
yes,
so to speak. Because
it's the same, but
one
different.
is plastic,
yeah,
and one is made of flesh and bones. So,
but what if he's an alien?
It's quite possible.
Forget it.
But you know what? It could be that it's set in the near future or in our future, but in a different galaxy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that it could be. We don't know because, again, we haven't seen the movie. We've only seen a little bit of a trailer. But again, everybody's going crazy over a minute 34
Yeah, I know.
where Chris Evans doesn't even speak in the
The
trailer.
only thing he says is what to
To
infinity,
infinity.
and
he kind of
he doesn't. It cuts
jump.
off.
He gets jump scared and he goes like, ah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he gets cut off.
he doesn't even speak in the trailer.
I don't get what's so controversial about that. I don't get what's so controversial
Like I said,
about
it's
him speaking.
outrage politics.
It comes. It's like you said. It really comes from not having the complete picture.
I think that, but I also think there's a segment in our how can I say this? There's a certain segment to want to be able to be the first and the loudest when it comes to
Yeah.
a thing. You
I
know what I'm
think that's
saying?
also it.
And also, not only that, and this kind of goes back to the whole, back in the 80s and the 90s, it's kind of tabloid journalism that's driving all of this stuff in a sense, because you want to say the most outrageous thing so that you can get the most clicks and likes. And a lot of this misinformation campaigns kind of fall within that. Not and again, there are sets of agendas that are at work here, because you do have that tabloid sensationalism aspect of things, but you also have the more political stuff which drive things also, and especially here in the States. But you know what? It's not only here, it's also around the world, where the sensationalism and the misinformation kind of drives politics now.
Mhm.
Politics has become a thing where it's no longer about policies. It's more about, these wars that you have, and making sure that your constituents, your base, are satisfied because you're saying outrageous things, or it looks like you're fighting the good fight and stuff like that, when in reality you're doing nothing but just talking, right?
Yeah.
I think those are the two things that are at odds here.
I think
You know?
I don't even think it's about like the clicks and the likes or anything like that. Well, obviously there's some
For
plays.
something, that's why clickbait is called clickbait,
Well,
right?
yeah. Okay, there's obviously that, and I think that's actually a really large role in what's going on here. But I also think it's just, and I don't, of course, we don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm gonna say this as lightly as I can, and as respectfully. There has been a constant, not a back and forth, but getting the first word in, even if it doesn't even make any sense.
Even if it's not true.
Yeah, even if it's not true. I mean, at this point, and this day and age, we've said this on previous podcasts, but facts and stuff like that, it doesn't really apply to us anymore. And
That is
that's
so true.
mainly what's driving here. I think that's the source of it. And then you have these clickbaiters who try and get this to try and, I guess, light the spark even more. I don't know how to say it.
No,
What
it's
do you
true.
do? Right?
Because I've seen, and again, I hate to jump back into this, but I've seen far right, podcasters or TV show hosts that say, you know what, I'm going to say the most outrageous thing out there because I know it's going to drive people to my podcast, or it's going to drive eyes to the TV screen. What is this guy going to say now? What is the outrageous or crazy? It's kind of like the Howard Sternness of it all. Way back when Howard Stern was like really, really big, a lot of people didn't like Howard Stern, but a lot of people listened to Howard Stern because they wanted to hear how outrageous he was going to be so that they can argue about it. So there is some financial aspect to this, because you know what, the more popular we
I
are,
think it's
the more popular your podcast is, the
Well,
more popular the TV show
not.
is, you're gonna make money off of
I'm
this
not
stuff,
saying that,
right?
but I think it's, and I'd like to say this respectfully again, a level of instigation.
Yep.
And I'm not talking money or anything like that, just to get shots or stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, instigation.
And then, like, just to get back to Lightyear the movie, who's to say that?
Yeah.
Who's to say Tim Allen isn't in the movie?
Right.
Like, here's also, consider this. When was Toy Story made?
Uh, early, mid to late '90s, and I believe in the 2000s you had some some of them.
How old was he?
He was relatively young. I would say like
Yeah,
maybe
he's
in his
still.
30s or something like that. He is a little bit older now.
Yes. And so if you're going to be portraying a younger Buzz Lightyear, logically, I'm sorry, you would need a younger person.
Tim Allen right now is currently 68 years old.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he's been around, and again, we're not going to get into the whole ageism stuff, but um he is a little bit older. So if you're, like you said, if you're going to trend to a younger version of um
Buzz
Buzz
Lightyear.
Lightyear, then it behooves you to cast a younger actor, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And again, it may be like one of those secret cameos where he is actually in the movie despite not being able to play Buzz Lightyear proper.
Mm. I mean, I don't.
And again, maybe that's
Yeah.
not helping the issue, but again, if you look at this logistically, it kind of makes sense why they did what they did.
I'm sure. It's obvious.
But again, it comes from,
Yeah.
we need more information, which we don't have.
So here's the argument that I would make against this being a political thing, because Toy Story did come out in 1995. Okay. And the last Toy Story was Toy Story 4, 2019. Okay. Did they recast him then? Because during it's 2019, and again, I'm trying not to equate this to politics, but if you're going to make the Lightyear trailer about politics, then I got to speak about this
Yeah,
also in a
it's
political vein.
not something you can avoid.
2019 was smack dab in the middle of the Trump presidency, right? Where he has a voice. If you were so outraged by the stuff that he was saying, maybe 2019 is when you recast him as Buzz Lightyear. And they did not do that. They recognized that, you know what? He has played the role as the toy since 1995. We bring him back in 2019 and let him play the role again.
Like,
And now we're doing a younger version of an actual person. That's where we recast.
yeah.
So, this whole thing about, well, you know what? His conservative voice is trying to be silenced. You didn't have that argument back in 2019 because it never happened. If it was so outrageous, the stuff that he was saying, 2019 would have been the time to say, you know what? Sorry, Tim Allen, we're going to move and go with somebody else. So
Mhm.
to me, that argument really doesn't hold weight. You're just creating a you're creating a answer in search of a question, right?
Yeah.
You're creating this narrative that, oh well, he's being canceled, when that's not really the case. They just decided, you know what, let's get Chris Evans in here, let's do this. He's a younger version of an actual person, let's do it with him. I don't see what the problem is. I really don't.
I don't know there.
So
But anyway.
it's just, I feel like it's kind of a little annoying because we see this all the time.
It happens all the time. It's
Like
just a
literally
thing.
within moments of dropping the trailer, the Twitterverse went crazy with all these political, accusations when it's just a freaking movie. It's a cartoon, for
And
God's sake.
it's not even just a freaking movie that's a cartoon. This is also for kids. I don't think, well, okay, obviously they're going for a more dystopian future. They're trying to work maybe,
But you're right, this is a kids movie.
yeah, but to some extent, no matter how you play this, Toy Story and that franchise will always be labeled a kids movie, which in turn also makes this a kids movie. So I don't see, what are we poisoning their brains and stuff like that? I don't understand what the problem is here, because I get that we all enjoy Toy Story. That's just the thing. It's something that I'm pretty sure all of this generation grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that we're targeting people when this is specifically for kids
But not only
doesn't
that,
really connect.
there's
for me.
nothing in the trailer that screams out politics.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
It's not like, and to jump on another topic that the right loves to jump on. What you're gonna tell me that because Chris Evans is now the voice of Buzz Lightyear, that they're going to be screaming CRT behind every laser blast that happens in the movie? I mean, he didn't even speak. You don't know what the movie's about.
It's 1 minute and like
So
you said, 1 minute.
so who cares what their political views are? Because it's not going into the movie at all.
It doesn't influence at all. It's just a movie to entertain people and continue the franchise and make a story that not just adults will enjoy, but also kids. It's not politically influenced at all. I don't see what's going into this. I just don't understand. It's very mind-boggling and confusing because you're getting all these different opinions about it when we barely got anything from the trailer. There's nothing to say that this is politically driven or this is against the right, the far right. There's nothing about that. It's I don't know. I don't even know.
It can be frustrating sometimes.
It's very frustrating.
Let's talk about Potato Head.
What's going on with Potato
So
Head?
let me
What?
and again, this is one of these outrage politics where they
again?
jump on it because so you all know what that is, right? It's a toy.
The really cool guy, the awesome character,
Who's also in Toy Story.
yes.
So Hasbro decided, I believe maybe like about a year or two ago, that they were going to rebrand Mr. Potato Head and just call him Potato Head.
No.
So it's been Mr. Potato Head for how many years, right? And within the last, I want to say maybe 10 years or so, they introduced Mrs. Potato Head, okay, which again was in the TV in Toy Story, right? So Mrs. Potato Head is kind of a newish type of thing. Hasbro decided, in the interest of, just gender fluidity and stuff like that, we're going to drop the Mr. part and we're just going to brand it as Potato Head and give you all the parts within the box to make either a Mr. Potato Head or a Mrs. Potato Head. Okay?
Okay.
They lost their minds. The far right lost their minds. We're canceling Mr. Potato Head. How is that canceling Mr. Potato Head? You have the ability to buy a Potato Head thing and make him whoever you want him to be. If you want to make him a Mr., go ahead. You got the parts to make him a Mr. If you want to make him a Mrs., guess what? You got lipstick in there. You have all the parts to make it a Mrs. Potato Head, all in one box. They lost their complete minds over this.
I think this. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. No, this doesn't make sense.
These are the things that American politics on one side they focus on.
I think this
they're
is
not
a good
focusing
change.
on climate change. They're not focusing on healthcare. They're not focusing. They're focusing on Mr. Potato Head, Dr. Seuss, and Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. And honestly, I think that this is a good change to the Potato Head sort of thing, because with this era we have a lot more people who are speaking out against things like discrimination against transgender people,
Mhm.
gay people, and all of that. And honestly, I don't see what the problem is here because we're embracing that side. It's not something where Yeah,
And to your point, we're not taking away anything.
yeah,
All
no.
we're doing is repackaging it into one box where you can make the choice of what you want to make the potato head into.
Mm-hmm.
We're not taking away a Mr. Potato Head. We're not saying, you know what, you have to make a Mrs. Potato Head out of a Mr. Potato Head. We're saying you have the choice to play with the potato head toy however you want.
It even
I
says
mean,
it
it's
here.
basically following the Lego rules
the
now.
the
Because
G.
Lego's always, well, maybe not always, but
Well,
like for the most part,
but
the
you
headpiece
know,
always comes off. You can always change it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's meant to build and foster your imagination. That's what these toys are.
mhm.
If you want to create a female character, you have the ability to do that. If you wanted to make it a male character, you have the ability to do that. It's not forcing you to do one or the other. And so you were going to say something
Wait, what?
about Potato Head?
Oh, well, like it. No, I was just gonna make a statement that I mean, it even says like I'm looking at an article. I think it's AP News. I don't know. But yeah, it is AP News. But it says GLAAD and LGBTQ, the advocacy group, even supports this, and I don't want to say it that's the reason why people aren't but honestly I'm gonna have to say it, and like I said, I need to keep saying this because I need to make this clear. People just ignore the fact that when people say that they try and be respectful, and I need to make it clear even if it's more than once. um Look, I just don't think that oh shoot, I lost my track of thought. Hold on, let me get it back again.
Inclusivity.
Yes, it's inclusivity. It's like, I can't understand what it's like to be somebody who isn't represented, who's always like in a way left in the dark, like
Yeah.
just pushed aside into like a corner or something like that, right? I can't understand that, but the, now that we're finally trying to include people, we're trying to finally push people into the I guess you could say part of the spotlight where everybody is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just so frustrating to see that people are trying to put a stop to it. Especially now that we're gonna have we're in a size yeah but you get what I'm trying to say, right? We have a way to include people in there, and
And there's a
people are trying
lot
to
of
stop it.
talented people out there.
Yes,
That's the
everybody,
thing.
and it's not just white people, it's not just Spanish, Chinese, it's everybody, and that's the point. It's not just God, this is really I don't know how to say it, but
It's a tough subject
yeah.
to take on, because, and I know we started with Buzz Lightyear, but we've kind of devolved, well, not devolved, we've kind of evolved the conversation into something relevant, but within the same vein at the same time, right?
But it relates to Buzz Lightyear and all the controversy that surrounds it. People are
Out
taking
of
everything,
context.
yeah, out of context, and that's what's going on here. And it's heartbreaking because you see a movie that might be good, but it's getting hated on just for reasons that don't make sense.
It's interesting you say that, because there's that phenomenon that exists, especially within the last, I want to say maybe like 5 years or so. The notion that you can review bomb. This is something I really don't understand, because you haven't even seen the movie yet and you're already dissing it.
I remember. I don't remember when. I believe there was like a movie like a very long, not too long ago, but basically people didn't go to see that movie, or like there was a majority of people who were discouraged from going to see that movie just because of
Captain Marvel.
it was Captain Marvel. That's why.
Captain Marvel. That was a movie where people just they went crazy over, right? You guys remember what happened with Captain Marvel, right?
No,
And I think it was
Yeah, a bit.
I don't remember.
it was it, and I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if it was because of the actress that people were going crazy over, or whether the character where she represented, well, basically she's supposed to be the MCU's strongest character, right?
Yeah,
And people were, I guess, intermixing the politics of the actress with the actual film, and that kind of overshadowed everything, and so people went crazy, and they were actually saying we're going to go watch something else, and I can't remember what it was. There was another movie that came out at the same time, and they were like, nope, and this was all before the movie.
Mhm.
Nope, not going to watch Captain Marvel, going to go watch this one.
I mean, that
Mhm.
doesn't sound wrong. I mean, it could
crazy.
it could be a combination of both, but yeah, that's kind of a is that isn't enough to justify, at least to me, not seeing a movie, and it's just like, well, why? Like, if it's the strong, why does it matter that? I don't know.
it's very frustrating to see that people just don't don't really, well, they have an idea, but it's they take things way too it's just not, there's nothing to describe it as, it's just way too extreme. I mean, because bomb review bombing, I was about to say bomb reviewing, review bombing, just based off of like the the social stuff that it proposes. I'm pretty sure it opened on like International Women's Day, right?
Something like that, but you're right, it was the
Yeah.
agenda, because in terms of Rotten Tomatoes, the negative most of the negative reviews contained phrases like SJW, social justice warrior,
Mhm.
feminist agenda, politically correct.
Mhm.
They weren't talking about the movie in terms of what the movie was. They were talking about the movie in terms of what they thought the movie represented,
Yeah.
which is totally different things.
Hmm.
You know,
But
um,
yeah.
it's a weird thing. You know,
Hmm.
um,
It's hard
but
to understand the internet.
yeah, it really is. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Because Captain Marvel is a movie that um, it has a feminist agenda. I bet you anything, a majority of the people that left those negative reviews probably went to go see the movie.
Yeah, either way.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
Yeah, like
So it's a weird place that the internet finds itself in. You know. All right. So, wow. This was supposed to. Well, we knew that this was going to get into different things, but
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a kind of a thing about Buzz Lightyear, and we kind of touched upon a little bit of everything that
Yeah.
ails the world today. Everything. The world at large.
And its flaws.
Yes.
And a lot of its flaws. Like
A
all
lot
of
of
its
his flaws
flaws.
that was kind of hidden up until maybe like the last couple of years, where it's really,
Yeah.
it's like you rip the Band-Aid open and then boom, here we are.
Yeah.
Check us out. Which
That's
sucks.
definitely it.
But anyway, there you go. So I think we're gonna call this podcast to an end.
Yep.
To infinity, and we're closing.
It's a video.
Are you
Oh, shoot.
yawning?
Yeah. to infinity and beyond.
What the heck? How can you yawn on a podcast?
I don't know.
Nobody wants to listen to you yawn. What's up with that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, what's up with that?
What's up with that?
Oh, come on. Oh.
What's up with that?
What's up with that? What's up with?
What's up with
that?
And for people who don't know what that
That-
is, that's a reference to Saturday Night Live.
What's his name? What's up with that? What's up with that?
And meanwhile, you have Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah, Ted Lasso doing
Just Jason
the
Sudeikis dancing in the background.
freaking dance. Yeah.
Love that segment.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
okay, we were
That's
supposed
oh
to,
my gosh.
we're supposed to close this thing down.
We're getting so off topic. Okay.
Come on, AJ. All right, I'm Walt.
This is AJ.
Eli Atreides.
Ooh-wee.
That's the new one. I changed
up
it
with
from
that?
Eli Castillo.
What's up with that?
Eli Atreides, because that is awesome.
Ooh-wee.
Like from
What's up
Dune.
with that?
If you
What's
guys
up
have
with
seen it, Dune
What's
is
up with-
pretty. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's driving AJ nuts.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Ooh-wee. Cross
What's
up
up?
with that.
What?
Cross up with that.
Oh no,
Cross-gen.
that was no.
Doesn't work? Okay.
That was ooh wee. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Come on, AJ. Sing along.
Ooh wee.
If the world was really flat, why isn't Zarwarudo two-dimensional?
Wait, why isn't Zarwarudo two-dimensional?
Flat.
Yeah.
Two-dimensional can
Well, if
also
you
be
really
flat.
think about it, you're looking at everything in 2D.
Ooh.
I'm getting into some deep topics.
Ooh. The
You look at
gauntlet-
everything at 2D.
The gauntlet has been dropped.
You've never seen anything 3D
Booyah.
in your life.
Booyah
And that's
shaka.
just a fact that you can't avoid.
All right. CrossGen podcast done. May our paths cross again.
No, that doesn't. We're doing Toy Story.
So then do a Toy Story theme.
May our spaceships. No. Jesus, I'm doing the same thing with the X-Wings where they crash and blow
May
up.
our snakes cross
Oh my
our
God.
boots.
May the snakes cross our boots?
I mean, they'll just
No.
they'll
they'll
just
slither right across.
no, they'll
No.
tie up your shoes and then you'll trip.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's that. But
That's not a good thing.
may our Buzz Lightyears cross again.
No, what?
Yes.
That's even worse.
No, may our toys cross again.
May our starships orbit around the sun again.
Nothing's crossing.
Yeah, you're cross. Well, if you cross, you die.
Yes, you're gonna cause a
Blow
mass
up.
murdering. That's genocide at its
You're
finest.
gonna kill light.
It's a one-man ship.
Starships. Oh, I thought you were talking about.
As in Buzz Lightyear flying
Planets.
around the sun.
Oh,
not
I thought
a-
it was planets.
not a cruiser. What?
No, I thought it was planets.
No, what?
I
No.
don't know why I thought that. I mean, like, I would have said that would have been like Thanos causing
this podcast.
major genocide,
We have
killing
to end this podcast.
thousands of civilizations, their children, their pets. Just end it.
All right.
Just end it.
Goodbye. Later.